Hey guys, I'm Greg Beamer. I'm the Minn KOTA product manager coming to you from the BLA trade show all the way from the United States. So wanted to talk to you a little bit about the new Minn KOTA lineup for 2024. And we're going to start by talking about the RT Minn KOTA Tarova. This is what you've all been used to relative to the current brushed style of motors. We're going to be getting into a little bit of the new brushless Quest motors, but we'll get to that in a minute. But for starters, we want everybody to know that the old tried and true RT Tarova brushed motors are still going to be available in 2024 in a variety of different shaft lengths. But what we've done to update the new system is we've included a new GPS system. So what you've been used to with iPilot and iPilot Link are going away. But now everything is going to be one boat network ready. That means everything out of the box is ready to be networked to a connected Humminbird fish finder. So all the cables you need to do that will be included in the box. And some of the things that are new with that new one boat network ready system, that new GPS system, is a brand new remote for 2024. So we get rid of the old iPilot and iPilot Link remotes, and they're all being replaced by this new remote, and they got a lot of cool new features on this new remote. We've got 4 one boat network buttons. These are programmable keys that you can do a variety of things with, including activating a auto stow and deploy motor called Instinct, which we'll get to in a minute. You can do autopilot. You can mark a waypoint on a connected fish finder. There's a variety of things that you can do with these one boat network keys. Then you also have the old standard autopilot. We've got a new icon for that, but that's autopilot, cruise control, spot lock, of course, and your standard motor controls. This remote is powered by 2 AA batteries back here, so no more having to mess around with charging cords. Typical season for most anglers, a single set of AA batteries is going to last you all season. So brand new remote with all of these new motors for 2024. Then you've got the new RT power drive. Again, no real major changes to this, but it also comes with the new remote on select SKUs. Again, one boat network ready, so you can connect your power drive motor to the fish finder. The heading sensor for these motors, which is what provides the jog feature when you're in spot lock, are still available. That with the Tarova, that'll be in the box, but with the power drive, that's available as an accessory. Okay, so let's go and talk now about the new RT Instinct motor, which is the new Quest platform, which is our new brushless line. So let's walk over here and look at that. Let's go around this way. We got a lot of, oh yeah, they're gonna make way for us here. Sorry guys. So this is the new Minn KOTA RT Instinct Quest motor. So anytime you hear us talking about Quest refers to the new brushless motor technology. You can see that our lower unit's been completely redesigned. The Quest brushless motors run on either 24 or 36 volts. The motor has enough intelligence built in that you don't have to configure anything. You just plug it in to either 24 volts or 36 volts, and the system knows what it's connected to. On 24 volts, you're going to get 90 pounds of thrust, and on 36, you're going to get 115. Now, the other thing we want to talk about when it comes to the power of this motor is torque. Okay, so on 24 volts, you're going to have 50% more torque than today's brushed motor. On 36 volts, you're going to have 30% more torque. So what does that mean in terms of your experience on the water? That means the responsiveness of this motor, these brushless Quest motors, is going to be dramatically more aggressive in terms of responsiveness on the water. So Quest is really built for the harshest environments around. So as we talk about it in the application of the new Instinct Quest motor, which is exclusively to Minn KOTA, the only auto stow and deploy motor in the market, Instinct is specifically for saltwater. Okay, so let's talk about some things that we did differently on the design. Many of you would be familiar with the RT Ulterra motor. The RT Ulterra motor is going away now, being replaced with the RT Instinct Quest motor. Okay, so what are some things we did differently? You've got a beefed up frame because of the power of the motor itself. The frame had to get heavier duty to support the power from that frame. You got larger diameter shaft. Now it's an 1.5-inch diameter shaft. It's got double D flats for extra reinforcement, along with carbon fiber infuse in these shafts as well. The connections between the trim housing and the steering housing are all hardwired for robust reliability. You've got heavier duty actuator in the center for the tilt mechanism when it actually lays the motor down. All the sensors in the motor now have been designed to be more robust for the harshest environments that the consumers will put these through. We've got heavy duty 8-gauge wire, marine grade wire from top to bottom through the entire motor, so you have zero power loss over the life of the product. New props for the brushless motor. This is a power prop. We also have a weedless prop that are specifically for the brushless motors. Those props are not backwards compatible to the old brushed motors, so these are unique to the Minn KOTA Quest motors. Okay, so let's look a little bit at some of the components here to show you the difference from the old RT Ultera to the new RT Instinct Quest motor. Okay, so this is the old frame, or the chassis, that the RT Ultera used to be built upon. When we put the new RT Quest brushless motor on this frame could not handle the load from the new motor. So we took that motor and put it into a new chassis, obviously much heavier duty, robust, purpose-built for the most harshest environments that our consumers are going to put these motors through. So very heavy duty, designed to handle the harshest environments. You can see the difference in that actuator from the old style actuator to the new, a much larger lead screw. You can see how it's well supported through the frame of the motor, much more torque capacity of this tilt motor as well. All the linkage in the motor is very heavy duty and robust to handle all those harsh conditions. Over here, this is the old steering housing from the RT Ultera, and this is the new steering housing from RT Ultera. Obviously it's significantly larger, but that's because of the larger steering housing motor inside. It needed to have that additional power to be able to steer that more powerful Quest brushless motor, right? All of the connections between the steering housing and the trim housing used to be managed by brushed contacts that would transfer the electricity between the trim housing, between the steering housing and the trim housing via these slip rings. Now, with the new Quest platform, everything is hardwire connection between the new trim housing design and the steering housing. Everything's got waterproof connectors, all hardwired, so no more slip rings in that connection. The steering housing has been, the trim housing has been designed now to isolate the trim housing motor in its own totally water sealed compartment. So water can no longer get to that trim housing motor at all. The other cool thing with the new Instinct motor is that we have an emergency stow feature that requires no tools. So in the event you were to have to stow this motor, if you lost power, for example, you could just flip this lever, and now you could manually raise and lower the motor, lock that back in. You can pull this pin to release it and lay the motor down and then replace the pin. So no tools required for an emergency stow procedure, should in the unlikely event you would need that. Okay, so that's kind of the rundown of the new Instinct motor, but why don't we take a look at it and watch it stow and deploy on the stand over here. So here's that remote where we've got one of the features hotkeyed for stowing and deploying the Instinct. You can see I press that button, it says stow on there. Now I'm going to press stow, and you can see the motor is beginning to stow. This is the new 100-inch Instinct. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing to deploy it. I'm just going to support it because the stand's a little shaky. There we go. But you can see how easy that is with the new remote, and we've got the hotkey there for stowing and deploying and trimming up and down. Super easy interface. And that obviously, this remote is included with all of those RT Instinct motors. You notice this Instinct motor is black. The Instinct motor comes available in black or white. It comes in 60-inch, 72-inch, 87-inch, or 100-inch shaft lengths in either black or white. But again, emphasizing that Instinct is specifically for saltwater, okay? If you have a connected Humminbird fish finder, you can come over here and you'll see we have our Instinct controls on the side of our Apex 13 here. I can actually go in, I can go in and stow and deploy the motor from the Apex. So all I did was press the button for stow. That's the beauty of One Boat Network connectivity. I can do everything from the remote. I can do it from the connected Apex, Solix, or Helix. I can also do it from the new One Boat Network app. Many of you are familiar with the iPilot or iPilot Link apps that we had before. We've now taken all of those and put them into a single One Boat Network app that allows you to do everything from motor controls, for software updates, for requesting assistance from customer service. You can control your maps, you can control your shallow water anchors. The One Boat Network app is now your go-to place for anything related to the One Boat Network on your system, okay? So we'll go ahead and deploy this again so the next person can come by and play with it. There we go. Okay, so that's Instinct. Let's take a look at the new RT Tarova Quest. So this is the new RT Tarova Quest. We're up here on top of the stage so that we can give you a little demo on stowing and deploying. So again, it comes with the new advanced GPS remote. When I push that lever down, the motor would automatically index so that the lower unit would be in the proper position for stowing into the ramps. And then when I deployed it, it would actually, when it gets to the deployed position, it would go auto straight ahead, okay? So super easy. One other thing I should mention is that with all the new all the new brushless Quest motors, is that the heading sensor is all built into the steering housing of all of the new Quest motors. So that additional heading sensor puck, you no longer have to install that or calibrate that. There's still a keel offset procedure you'll go through, but it's very easy to do either with the new advanced remote or with the One Boat Network app. It's a couple presses of a button to align your motor with the keel of the boat so it knows which direction is straight ahead. So that in totality is the lineup for 2024 that's going to be of interest to the Australian people, and we're really excited about it. You should start seeing availability here probably in about January.